a gentleman that's really come up with an amazing gardening idea, or an idea that's going to help I suppose, not only the gardener but the householder in how they manage heavy pot plants. And it's a terrific system. It's like anything good. It's so simple. You think, why didn't I think of that? Peter Kuhlmann, welcome.
Yeah, morning, Michael. Morning, Neil.
Why didn't I think of making a garden pallet like that?
Well, you're about the 50th person that said that today, I think.
It's not bad, is it?
No, it's pretty clever. And when you look at how simple it is, it's amazing.
I've probably asked you the question, Peter, before when we first looked at it. What, 12 months ago now, or 18 months ago?
Yeah. Well, the garden pallet itself about probably 7 or 8 months ago. But we did talk, or 12, 18 months ago on an oblong one that I invented, a little pallet to move cartons, and then this was a progression from there.
Yes. So why did you see the need to invent something like this?
Well, it goes back a bit. I was helping a friend of mine in a pub in Whyalla move some cartons many years ago, and he picked up a carton and he hurt his back. And it looked a bit funny at the time, but it wasn't. It was fairly serious. And then a couple of days later, I picked up a carton of wine and the bottom fell out. And I thought, well, there's got to be a better way to move and store cartons. And so I came up with an little oblong pallet. It's about the size of a carton of beer, which can be used with a hand truck. So you just stack your cartons on it, slide the hand truck underneath and wheel it off so you don't lift. And then that was fairly successful, but it was very hard to get the message across because people didn't really relate to it. And then we thought, well, if we can do it with cartons, why can't we do it with pots, round pots? And so we came up with this round pallet that's suitable for for pot plants. And we designed and manufactured a special hand truck. So if you've got a big pot weighing anything up to 180 kilos, just put it on this pallet and slide the hand truck underneath if you want to move it.
Works.
But it does other things. You can hose underneath, and stoning of patios and that type of thing is a major problem because the poisons or the fertilisers leak out of the soil in the pot, and so you just hose underneath. It keeps it out.
Peter, going back to that, so what's your background? Are you an inventor or?
No, I'm not actually. I was in transport engineering for many years, and that gave me the opportunity to walk into different factories and have a look. And I've got no formal qualifications, but I can look at stuff and say, hey, that is a problem. And then I used to go back to the engineers and say, look, this is a problem. What can we do? This is what I believe. And then they would come up with the brains and the design product. So I could not design that, but I came up with the concept. The concept that for the mini pallet and the garden pallet has never altered. I drew it up, made a couple out of timber, took it to design engineers, and yes, that came from there.
But also the sack truck, well, not the sack truck, but the hand truck is quite unique too, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it is. It's a little sack truck that can't, that's got a longer and a narrower tongue, so it'll fit underneath the pots. And it folds right down into a little box, less than the size of a carton of beer. Yeah. And it'll lift 180 kilos, so we didn't lose any strength. And so if you want to move your pots, you just unfold it. You want to put it away in the shed behind the kitchen door or wherever, you just fold it down and put it away.
Peter, like every new product, it's great to have it, and we all fall in love with it, people that use it, but to get it out to the general public, how do you do that? I mean, that's a quantum leap, and an expensive leap too, isn't it?
Well, if you're a sole operator, it's almost impossible, and you've just got to persevere. And I kept knocking on Bunnings doors in Melbourne, and that meant trips to Melbourne all the time. And eventually they said, yep, well, look, we like the concept.
There's blokes here again.
Yeah, hi, Pete, we're seeing you again.
Yeah.
And they liked the idea, but because there was different products on their shelves, they really had to wait until they cleared some of those to put them in. And then they said, look, we'll put them in South Australia, which they did, and they went into all Bunnings stores in South Australia. And then they said, yep, that the product's working real well, we'll put it nationally. And so about 9 months or 6 months ago, it went into Bunnings stores right around Australia. And that's been a huge breakthrough. But it took so long. And that's the problem with any of these products. You can't walk up to the Bunnings or the Mitre 10s and say, look, put this in. I know it's good. They know it's good, but you've just got to wait.
Where does it sit? Is it? I mean, it's almost like a hardware line as well as a gardening line, isn't it?
Well, it is.
Yeah. Because you could use it, as you said, for, if you've got a pub or you store a lot of cartons, wine cartons and whatever.
Yeah, well, Bunnings, in most of the Bunnings stores, they're alongside the hand trucks. So if anybody's out there...
so that's where they...
Yeah, that's where they fit. But if you ask the people in Bunnings, they'll find them for you. But that'll all change early in the new year. We've got a new marketing company that's out of Melbourne that we've come across, and they supply a huge range of pots to Bunnings right throughout Australia, and they get people to go in the stores every week and rearrange the pots. They make the Leisure Master pots, and if you go into any Bunnings stores, you'll see that the pots, the plastic pots, are all lined up. The labels all face one way and whatever. And these people will handle the garden pallet and make sure that it's arranged properly in every store, whether it's Bunnings or the other stores.
So where do you go from here? What do you got?
Well, it's
what are you working on now, Peter?
Well, I think Liz will kill me if I come. I got a couple of ideas, but I'm not going to bring them up. No.
It's a great product. It's a bit like Brian Measday's Waterwork. I mean, it's a credit to people like you that get an idea. You actually put your cash up and you get it made, and then the next step's the biggest one, isn't it? You get it out there, market it properly, and tell people all about it. So I hope in a small way we've been able to help you, because it's a great product. It's a great product.
The help I've got from the gardening industry, both here in Melbourne, it's amazing. The Jeff Fullers and you and June and Neil and people like Laney Anderson and Amanda Blair, and they've just gone out of their way to help. And the landscapers and the growers in Melbourne, I walked in completely unannounced, and all of a sudden I feel like I'm one of the family, and they say, hey, your product's good. You've got to have a good product, and then everybody will tend to bend over for you. Yeah.
All right, Peter, lovely to catch up again. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Thanks, Michael.
And good luck in 2012 with your new distributor and marketing arm, and it'll be great to see that product out to everyone, because it does save you back. That's the big thing. You put the little sack truck under, you tilt it back because it's got a good fulcrum, hasn't it?
Yeah, very good.
And you just move the pots around your deck or your paving or whatever.
And the other good thing about it is it raises your pot up off the ground, because I had two pot plants on my front porch, which is sort of slate. And I went to move them one day before I got these, and of course, it was all stained.
Oh, Neil, that'd be terrible.
Oh, it was a nightmare, Michael.
Well, if I can just add one little thing, the big thing in Victoria now, the landscapers have got onto it in the nurseries, and people are going to them in high-rise buildings, and they say, look, we've got this size, it's in faces north or west or whatever, what can I put on? But the beauty of having the garden pallets now, they can landscape a patio, and then if they want to have a barbecue and move stuff, they can move 20 pots in 2 minutes without breaking the back.
Perfect.
So that's all happening in Melbourne now.
Peter, you got a website people can go to?
Yep, www.gardenpallets.com.au, and there's a couple of videos on there. People can see what it does.
Yeah, good stuff. Thanks, Pete, for coming
Thanks,
in.
Michael.
Good luck.
Thanks, Neil.
Cheers,
Thanks,
Pete.
Peter Kuhlmann, our special guest, and look for the garden pallets. As you said, you're in Bunnings stores and Mitre 10s and so forth, but simply go to gardenpallets.com.